Hello everyone, this is Mike Radzwilla with MTGOacademy.com. We're going to be playing some Pauper today. I'm going to be running the Black-White Pestilence deck uh, that I wrote the article on a couple weeks ago with some minor changes, which I'll go over in the meantime as they play. This hand's okay, so we're going to keep it. So it looks like we're playing Mono Black, most likely. I don't know, we'll just start with that, and we'll get a Swamp at the end of his turn. Oh, we can get rid of Curse of Chains here, I believe. Because against Mono Black, there's not much that we're gonna want to shut down aside from the ninja guy. So that's the only really good Curse of Chains target they have. So getting rid of it doesn't really uh, hurt us too much. And then we just want to try to build up our land so that we could play Pestilence and keep Pestilence up. It's really hard for Mono Black to respond to Pestilence once it resolves. So we just want to play it and be able to wipe their board a couple times, and we should be okay to win from there. Alright. Okay. It's kind of bad if he ninjas here, but basically one thing about this deck is you can kind of dirtle around your first couple turns because you're really looking to lock things down in the mid game. So it's okay if you have somewhat slow starts, just playing lands and kangaroo lands and whatnot, because the incidental life gain and everything you do in the meantime, all your tempo is gained back when you finally resolve Pestilence, which we could do now. Um, I guess that would be our best option because we could play Pestilence. Uh, I don't think Black has any real way to respond to a resolve Pestilence. He could still duress me or hit it through hand removal. Otherwise, um, there's still the problem that we don't have a creature to keep on board with Pestilence. But for the meantime, we could just get rid of his rats, and we could lock something down with Curse of Chains, even though I just said it was useless. It'll be important. Yeah, so here comes in the ninja guy. That's not terrible. Um, we could just pitch the plans. We don't need them. So our choices now are we can Curse of Chains this down, or we can. We know he has a Rager in his hand, and he's going to try to play it. So if he plays Rager first, we can respond to it on the stack by killing the field, and it still leaves him with a creature on board. Um, but I guess that's kind of being risky because then he could like Geth's Verdict himself or do something screwy like that, and then he'll kill Pestilence. So basically now we just want to keep him with something on board. So we'll cast that, lock that down. We'll do that. And pretty much now we're just looking for some kind of creature. Like Guardian of the Guild Pact will pretty much lock this up for us if we can get him. Aside, they still have the Edict effects that can make us sacrifice him, but or the Wall of Hopes to let us start like chiseling away. But yeah, because mono black at its heart is trying to beat you down with creatures. Even though they're small creatures, it's gonna try to gain value and swing in. So pestilence just stops him from doing anything that they try to do. Um, they can still win off of a corrupt, so that's something to be careful of. But once we start gaining life back, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. So now we can, I think, rest off here, just playing the Wall of Hope, and then just passing. We could pestilence for one, and we'll start trying to hit him down. But basically, we don't want to. If we wipe the board, and then he responds, he has, I don't know, any of the 9,000 removal spells like this that the deck's gonna run. Okay, so we just hits both of us. That's fine. So we do this. Oh, so what I was saying, we don't want to swing for two and kill both of his creatures, even if we have one, because a verdict effect or diabolic edict would clear the board and pestilence would die, and then that puts us really far behind. So it's much better here, I think, to just take two every turn, and we could always gain the two back with the crossroads. And we also now can start. We could Grim Harvest the wall back. So there's lots of stuff to do. Alright, so we're going to... We'll do that for one. And then he'll try to regenerate it. Alright. I mean, at this point, it's not even a big deal if he does get the skulls off, because our hand is going to be pretty much empty. Nonetheless, we could still journey to nowhere. We can journey to nowhere it if we wanted to. Let's see. I think the best bet here is just going to be playing the Wall of Hope. We could play the Basilica. Get back, Crossroads. Then we could ping for one. We also want to be careful not to go below 3, so we don't lose the Grim Harvest. And he's gonna regenerate. That's fine. And now we're just basically turning Pestilence into a giant burn spell. So because we could hit him for one and then gain the one back. I don't know if it'd be better to. The choice right now is to journey to nowhere, the Augur of Skulls. Normally that's dumb, but there's really nothing else that I think that Mono Black's gonna have that's worth using this on. They'll have like Hypnotic Specters and stuff like that, but not Hypnotic. The Liliana Spectre, and that's like the stuff they have. So there's really nothing to journey that Pestilence can't kill already. So I guess we'll just use it up. And your creatures also against Mono Black, you get a lot of value when emptying your hand, because the Liliana Specters and the Chittering Rats and even the Ravenous Rats, they all gain value from you having something in your hand. So if you're able to empty your hand, those creatures do lose a lot of value. I mean, we don't want to lose our hand by pitching it to an Augur of Skulls, but if we could just play everything quickly. Oh, I just broke. All right, so I misplayed here pretty badly. Because we have the Grim Harvest in the graveyard, and we don't have anything up to pay for it. So should he see that, I kind of walked into a corner there. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so we get to untap. And my horrible misplay goes unnoticed. Okay, so this looks really bad for me because every time I use something, this is kind of a fringe card for mono black to play. It doesn't show up often enough and slipped my mind. I guess we just journey it, and then we can keep hitting it for one. Yes, we can journey to nowhere. Get rid of that. I mean, there's also the more complicated option of keep blocking with wall and then Grim Harvesting it back. That's another thing, another option to consider. Alright. But at this point, I think if we just keep hitting him for one a turn, it's going to be really hard for him to like mount any type of offense, to do anything. Any type of, I mean, there's a lot of drawing a creature for us now is going to be pretty useful, because if we get another wall or a Guardian of the Guild Pact, we can clear out his board and start swinging to put more damage on. But right now at this point, there's no pressure to do much of that. And then so next turn he's probably going to try to swing in with both. We block one, we take the other, and then Pestilence is going to kill the Wall of Hope, but we can just Grim Harvest it back. And let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, we'll have enough to recover it, and then cast Grim Harvest like all during his turn. So it's not anything to worry about. I really don't know why he did that. I mean, the 1 point of damage matters a lot. But we're in pretty good shape. So, we're gonna block him, because if he ninjas in, we'd rather him get the Rager back than the Rats back. It does nothing. And then we can Pestilence for 1. Also, I do realize that we do have enough black here to win the game on the next turn. We have to be careful of Tendrils of Corruption, but I think at this point it's not an issue because we have enough to give me a second. We'll get this back. So normally the thing to consider here is Tendrils of Corruption. So if we put Pestilence triggers on the stack, he Tendrils one of his guys, he gets life, and then his board's clear, Pestilence dies, and then we're really far behind. So, but at this point, if he does Tendril, we can respond to it with 2 more Pestilence triggers, so it will kill anything that he targets. So it's not an issue. And this should be it. Unless something wildly unpredictable happens. Let's try that now. You know, or we could just not put them on the stack and just do it one at a time. So he's thinking of tendriling here, and then we just respond with 2 more Pestilence triggers, and we should be okay. Or he's searching for a tendril. Alright, and that is game 1. So that's good. Alright, sideboarding. There's not much to sideboard against mono black. Most of the sideboard here is dedicated strictly for the control matchups, because they give this deck the most problems. Stuff that they can do to interact with us is going to be duresses, and just it's basically the general game plan. They just have to get us to discard more, enough to hit all of our combo pieces and the pestilences and stuff before we resolve them. Black is actually even light on enchantment removal, so I don't think they have. I don't think even in terms of the sideboard they're gonna have much to interact with a resolved pestilence. Yeah, I think we're good for this next game. We could bring in decays, but they're not playing any creatures that are really gonna be worthwhile. We could bring in duresses against their duresses, which is actually a decent possibility. And actually, I think I prefer duresses to castigates here because it's cheaper. Then the removal clause doesn't do the exiling it doesn't do too much against them. Except okay. So I think that's it. Enough said about that. They submitted. We'll submit, and we'll go to game 2. This is okay because Guardian of the Guild Pact is so problematic for them. We have 2 more creatures to stop the verdicts and the edict effects. So it's kind of speculative. It's not going to be wonderful, but we're definitely keeping this. Maybe I just don't mulligan enough. I don't know. But we're going to start out with Terramorphic Expanse. We're going to get a Plains. Next turn, tap it for Wall of Hope and bounce the Plains back. And if he discards, we also have the Prismatic Strands. I guess these probably should have come out from the. These should just be boarded. And we could just bring in more hand disruption. This is good against corrupts and the tendrils and stuff. Or just even if they ninja in, you could prismatic strands and save 2 cards. So they both have their ups and downs. So we pass. Oh, that's bad. Okay, so he's boarding in. He has Rancid Earths and then Ice Quakes, and there's one more black thing that does the exact same thing. So that's not good for us. That means that next turn we're going to be sighting in a lot more of the hand disruption, because it's actually going to be quite difficult for us, not only in setting up the board, but also in just once we get Pestilence online, having the black to go off. So we're going to do that. Okay. So we play Wall of Hope. We'll bounce it. We're going to hope he doesn't have any of his land destruction effects. Yeah, my sideboarding here was not at all optimal, and the Journey of Nowhere probably should have come out for the hand removal and stuff, because I don't know what I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking on this one. Okay. All right. This is. Let's see. I think we're gonna Cursive Chains down the Rager, just because any type of removal here plus the Rat Ninja is pretty much gonna we're not gonna be able to come back from that, and these aren't gonna have much value later on. So, and plus when if we do once again, when you play your hand, and if you can kind of just play through your hand a little quickly and blow through things a little more recklessly than you normally would, a lot of his cards just go down in value. So he does that. And so, see, like what he just did there. If he has the Rat Ninja now, uh, and we didn't Cursive Chains this down, we would be pretty bad shape. I mean, not terrible shape. We're still going to keep some stuff up for it, but... Okay, so he does have the Rat Ninja. But now we could just get rid of it without him gaining any value on it. So look at that. Oh, I'm sorry. These are supposed to be Duresses. I got confused by the likeness of their name. Okay, yeah, this is... We're just gonna journey to nowhere this. Let's see. This is actually less problematic than it was last game. Um, just for the fact that our life total is pretty high and we're not in any immediate danger. And by the time we are a little bit lower, we should have our last land for the Guardian. So I think here we just play the Lone Missionary. We're really going to want to save these for the... actually, okay. Scratch what I said. What's this? Okay. We're going to journey this just so we can't ninja it. If you hardcast the ninja now, we have ways to deal with it with Lone Missionary. And also, we're just trying to buy time until we get our last land and we play Guardians, because it's going to be unlikely that he has any immediate answers to two Guardians. So right now, I don't know. He's probably just sitting on removal. So he might have some verdicts and edicts and stuff, but we'll just play him. Actually, I think we could play the Augur of Skulls here. And hopefully, we'll just play him to bait out removal. If he does have something, I'm not going to wait to have the regenerate mana up, because at that point, we're just going to be casting Guardian. And this kind of forces him to remove it. So that's good. We want him to use up his verdicts now, rather than on the Guardians. Alright, I think that right now the play is going to be, we play Lone Missionary. When he sacks this, we're going to get rid of the Prismatic Strands, obviously, because it's actually better in the graveyard, and we're not going to be casting it anytime soon. And probably the Pestilence, just because just because we can't cast it yet, and it's much... Just because we can't cast it yet, and it's going to be sitting dead in our hand. And if he starts chittering rats and we have dead cards in our hand, then we go behind really quickly. Meanwhile, Guardians should be able to lock this game up really quickly, considering two of his verdicts are gone. I didn't see Diabolic Edicts game one. He missed his... This... Okay, we're gonna block him here, because next turn he's gonna regenerate, and then next turn we can start casting Guardians. He's not gonna be able to break through with anything, and then from there, Pestilence. Once we get our other swamp, and we've two Guardians on board already, a Pestilence is gonna be... will pretty much be fine. Um, right. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna play Guardian. And I think we still get rid of. I think we if oh he didn't sack it again. Okay. We're definitely getting rid of the strands here. All right, we're okay. So here it comes down to Pestilence or Guardian. Um, let's see. I think I'm again inclined just to play Guardian. Um, it's just so difficult for them to deal with, especially with two verdicts gone. I probably shouldn't have. Especially, and then we have the strands in the graveyard. So if he does anything, we could actually respond to Ninja with that. Though I don't know why I'm pretty sure he doesn't have Ninja at this point. Okay. And then at this point, all right. So that's a good sign. That just means he's in pretty desperate shape. He's gonna get rid of this next turn and hit this because it's gonna die anyway. Um, okay, we'll leave him up to block the rats. And then from this point on, we should be okay in just grinding this out. Um, it'll be a little slow, but clear his board and we'll be swinging for 4 a turn, and then pinging for right now will be 3. We could have killed that on our turn, but then he would have just kept regenerating it, and we just would have taken. It's also important here to keep an eye on the time that it's running out. If we went to game 3, we'd be in a lot of trouble. But seeing as we have good position right now, it's not awful. Since we're probably gonna win this. I hate saying that before the game's over, but okay. Even so, the Guardians in this match are very important because they're just very difficult to deal with. Their creatures are never big enough to attack into them if we leave one up. I feel like at this point, we're not even going to worry about leaving anything up. And instead, we are just going to keep swinging. And Wall of Hope helps out really well with that. So we have him on a 3-turn clock right here. We also still have the Grim Harvest and the Prismatic Strands, which will go online with the Wall of Hope. Alright. Then we'll pass. Yeah, so sorry for all the sideboarding mistakes that happened this game. I mean, as it turns out, the journeys and the curses ended up being pretty useful. So he's gonna corrupt. Okay, so it says gain life equal to I just wanted to check. It says gain life equal to the damage. So if we counter it, he actually won't gain any life. And that's just what we're looking for. There's really not even a reason to do the pestilence triggers, because if we tap out, because it's our only black source right now, so if we get rid of that, then the Grim Harvest goes to any piece of removal. And since the wall is open to a lot of types of removal, it's better, I think, to just swing, because if we did the pestilence triggers, it doesn't help our clock at all. Though, I mean, it would now if we respond to him. What's he doing? He's corrupting again. He might have a tendrils here, but even if he has a tendrils, these are just kind of desperation plays, so it's not really anything to be worried about. And contrary to what I just said, well, yeah, we'll be okay with double pinging now. Apply. Okay, and that's game. So I'm gonna pause the video, and I'll start a new one soon. Thank you for watching.